Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. Today we are going to take this PMDG 737-800 on a scheduled flight from Keflavik in Iceland to Warsaw in Poland. I'm going to be flying from Vatsim, so you might hear some jet noises in the background as there's some traffic here in Keflavik. And contrary to my previous video, this time I made sure I have installed all the sceneries, so we have this beautiful scenery of Keflavik installed. Okay, let's jump into the cockpit and start the preparation of our flight to Warsaw. So let's start with a few simple checks. Okay, this works, flaps are up, speed brakes are stowed, and fuel levers are off, parking brake is set. So let's go ahead, and APU is off. Let's start with aligning the IRSs. This is going to be a fairly long flight, and it has been a fairly long flight on the way here, around 4 hours. So it would be a good idea to realign the IRSs. And let's proceed with the further checks as well. Okay, this is done. Let's wait a minute before the... Okay, we'll get back there. Okay. Yep. Works, perfect. Let's move to the other side. Here we go. Complete the tests here on this side. Okay, tests are complete. Let's move to the overhead panel and get back to IRSs. Well, it's... You know what, I'll reset the point of view and... Nope. Yes, it looks much better now, so let's go back to the overhead. 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay. And let's move to the right hand side just to make sure that we have tested everything we wanted. I'm sometimes struggling a little bit with like setting the right view here in Flight Simulator. Okay. This works. Okay. All right, perfect, works. Okay, let's start with downloading our flight plan for today and checking the weather. So the weather in Keflavik, clouds and visibility okay, QNH 1003. So let's start with setting this 1003, and then we'll move on farther. Okay, 1003, 1, 2, and 3. Yes, and now we can also set up our position. And our reference airport will be Bravo India Kilo Foxtrot, which stands for Keflavik. Okay, the position is all right. So let's review our flight plan for today. So our trip, 3 hours 30 minutes, and our block time, okay, plus 15 minutes for taxi. That's perfect. We are going to have 170 passengers and around 2 tons of cargo. And for the fuel, Well, okay, 15 minutes contingency fuel, nothing extra. Let's check the weather for our alternate and what is going to be our alternate, and we'll decide on the fuel. And after the fuel, when we'll decide on the fuel, we'll actually call the GSX, use the GSX and call for refueling. Okay, so weather in Warsaw is going to be clouds and visibility okay, and besides some wind, when actually it's supposed to be ended. So we should be arriving somewhere here, so the wind will be much calmer. So nothing to worry about in Warsaw. Then when it comes for our alternate, clouds and visibility okay in Kraków and calm wind. The same actually in Lublin. So nothing to worry about. So then I will just stick with what we have planned in terms of fuel. I don't see any need for additional fuel, so I'll just like go for refueling. Alright, let's scroll down and see our flight plan. So, we'll depart from Iceland. Initially we'll cruise over Iceland, then over the North Atlantic. Here we'll be passing Faroe Island, then along the coast or Norwegian coast. Then we'll be flying over Denmark and Sweden, and then directly into Poland. When it comes to the weather, well, we can expect some weather en route, so there might be some turbulences here, but other than that, as you have seen in the destination and departure, weather looks quite okay, so nothing to worry about there. Okay.
Please don't load aircraft until the fuel
Let's
truck arrives.
go outside and see if they have actually started to refuel.
Please use your airplane fuel system.
Yes, okay, so the refueling has started. That's perfect. And we will leave it like this. And I think we can actually proceed with the preparation of our FMC. So I will try to zoom a little bit. Yep. Okay, let's take it from here. So let's request our route. Nope. So request. Okay, we have departure Keflavik, destination Warsaw, and let's select the route. Flight number lot 500. That's okay. Alright, let's load the route. I will route the route, and then I will call for boarding in order to speed up our process. Our planned departure off-block time for today, it's in 8 minutes. I'm sure we are not probably going to make it. We might need some few more minutes, but that's okay. We'll just like take it from there. Okay, so let's go to legs, and once again let's come back to our flight plan and see, and let's so this is our route for today. So Oskum direct 62 north and 005 whiskey west, which is correct. Then direct Gunpa, direct Nerdo Amror, Gunpa Nerdo Amror. Next November 983, so let's check it. Direct November 983, Elpol November 915 Sorix. Runway 01 for departure, and Oskum 3 Alpha. Let's check the weather once again. So 360 at 20, yes, that will be runway 01 for departure. That is correct. Oskum 3 Alpha, and then Sorix 6 uniform in Warsaw. All right, let's select this. So runway 01, scope 3 alpha. Okay, arrival. IRS Yankee free. This is what they are going to be using in Warsaw. And okay, so I believe we can activate. All right. Okay, let's insert the performance figures. So our zero fuel weight for today, it's going to be 58.7. Okay, so we have 58.7. Perfect. As for the reserve fuel, we are going to have 2.7. 2.7. Okay, cost index on 20 and flight level 350. So 350 it is. Cost index of, I will insert 0 and then insert 20 as we are going to reach our top of climb. Then wind is going to be 244 at 033, so let's select this. 244 at, what was, okay, 033. All right, and average ISA +8, so minus 54 plus 8 makes 50, minus 46, minus 46. Okay, and we are good to go here. Now, let's once again go outside. Okay, since the refueling is still in progress, but I believe we can call for boarding.
Boarding requested.
At least the passengers will be boarded. I mean, we can do it even if the aircraft is being refueled. I just need to check. Yes, the seatbelt signs are off, so that's okay. All right. Do I want to attach pushback tag now? Yes, let's do it. It will help us as well. Okay, let's come back here. So now let's check our departure routes. So we need the charts for it, and I will. Okay, airport briefing.
Hello,
Let's
Captain.
scroll
We are ready
it.
for pushback.
Runway, okay. Right. Low visibility procedures. Okay, I'm actually looking for the noise abatement procedures. All right.
Departure checks completed.
Okay.
Bypass pin inserted.
All runways
Passengers
use
boarding started.
NADP2 during climb out. Okay, that's perfect. So this is what we are going to insert later. Okay, we have Oscar 3 Alpha, and let me check it. Oscar 3 Alpha runway 01. This is exactly what we wanted.
Locking gear.
And I want also have airport and takeoff minimums and parking stand just in case. Now, as for our arrival, it was Sorix, if I remember correctly. Uniform. Okay. In Warsaw, yes, it's going to be Sorix. Then, as for approach, we have selected ILS Yankee runway 33. Of course, it's going to be 3 hours from now, so a lot might change on the route. So we'll like update at the top of descent later. But for now, we'll just select ILS Yankee runway 33. And we have a star, we have approach, and the last but not least, let's make sure that we have our airport. Okay, so let's take the pinned, and SID bring it up here. So our okay, Oscom 3 Alpha. So Kilo Foxtrot 218, Kilo Foxtrot 211, 218, 210 knots or below. That's correct, and then it doesn't apply for us because we are proceeding by Oscom 3 Alpha, and then flight level 130 or above. It's correct. Kilo Foxtrot 319, flight level 140 or above, and Kilo Foxtrot 417, flight level 160. Okay, that is correct. Any initial climb altitude by ATC. Transition 7,000. Well, you know what? I would just like to select 8,000 as our initial climb. Okay, and make it actually at 8,100 because we don't have a clearance yet. We will check later if there will be some ATC available en route. Okay, 0, 1, 2. So let's make it 0, 1, 2. Okay. Now, this is checked. This is check as well. Perfect. So let's set up the radius. Okay, I'll just check. Do we have? No, there is no ATC. So I'm just going to select advisory 1228 and select it, and select one guard on the second one and put it into active.
Traffic standard and facilitate platform as final run withdraw.
Okay, that is set. We are going to be using transponder 2000. Okay, that's perfect. So once again, let's go outside. Nice. Very nice uniforms, GSX. Well done. This is the way to go. I love it. You can have as many updates as you want to the GSX, and always something is going to not work as it should. Yeah, okay. Alright, the passengers are boarding, the bags are loading, so I guess we can make the pre-flight checklist and then start the APU.
Keflavik traffic ICF555 has vacated runway 01.
There is some traffic, as you can see, actually as you can hear. That's okay. Alright, and the RSS has a line. Let's start with the checklist. So last but not least, let's go to the overhead panel. So we'll be cruising flight level 350 and our landing altitude is going to be 350 feet. This is what I remember, as Warsaw is my home base. Okay, so pre-flight checklist. Oxygen tested 100%, instrument and display switches auto, window
crossing
heat,
runway 28 via Echo 3, taxiing to stands 1 via Echo 3, Echo 4, November 4, and
auto, and flight instruments are set, parking brake is set, and engine start switches cut off. Okay,
10 and 9.
let's start the APU. And as soon as the boarding will be completed, we will proceed with calculations of our performance figure, and then we should be good to go. So let's bring up the chart in the meantime, the airport chart, and let's see where we are parked and how we are going to depart. So I'm just going to zoom in. So we are parked here at the terminal, and runway 01 is here. So we will push back here, then taxi all the way via November 4, Mike, Echo, and take full length of the runway 01. So it's going to be a fairly long taxi today. But yeah, okay. The winds are quite strong, like 20 knots, so we need to make sure we are going to we are going to use the proper runway. Okay, APU is available, so I'll just put it on. And yes. Okay. Let's turn the flight directors on as well. Let's wait for the boarding to be completed, but I believe we can actually start calculating our performance. So, runway 01, call it from the airport, so we should be waiting 71.4. Let's cross check it, 71.5. That's okay, it's close enough. Input the weather and calculate. So 3000 feet acceleration height, and this is something I not really, if I remember correctly, because NADP2, well, this is always something that I always tend to forget. So okay, so we will be just like accelerated to 800 feet and then we will accelerate it to clean configuration speed at 800 feet. Okay, so selected temperature for today is 48 degrees. Yes. With rating takeoff, yes, and 92% at 1, that's correct. Let's go for the takeoff. So center of gravity 24.2, that's perfect. Flaps 5, and speeds, well, let's insert the wind for today. I mean, we have 30, so 360 at 20, and the wind actually can make a difference. Okay, let's go back. So 147, 147, 159. That's interesting. I'm going to take the lower one, so 145, 147, just to be on the safe side, and 151. Okay. All right. Last but not, so we are going to make the departure briefing in a moment, and then take it from there. Okay, the boarding is completed, perfect, and all right. So, in case of engine failure, for and acceleration altitude is 800 feet, and engine out it's 1,700 feet. All right, so let's go back to the chart and make a quick briefing. So we are parked here at the terminal. We are going to make the pushback and facing nose to the right, tail to the left, taxiway, taxi straight ahead, first left into November, then first right Mike, then join Echo and proceed from runway 01. In case of engine failure, we will just climb on a runway track, which is 1-2. Straight ahead, climb to 1,700 feet as our engine out acceleration altitude, and proceed to 25 nautical miles from runway 01 and hold there. I'm going to actually insert runway 01 here. No, this is not the way to do it. And I'm just going to draw a 25 nautical miles ring. It would be probably also a good decision to insert the waypoint at the end of the flight plan just to reduce the workload, but yeah, hey, we are in a flight sim, so I'm just going to skip it. Okay. We are almost ready for departure, so I'm going to make the before start checklist in a minute, and then we'll be good to go. Okay, so let's make sure. Okay, let's go to the ground connections. No, sorry. Trim 509. Yeah, somewhere over here. Okay, and I think we can prepare the aircraft for the pushback. So nose to the right, tail to the left. Okay, before start checklist. So flight deck door closed and locks. Fuel pumps on. Passenger sign, they are not on. They are on now. Windows are locked. MCP was actually set, and we can select 8000. Takeoff speeds were set. CDO preflight was completed, rather, and aero trim was 3 and 0. And taxi and takeoff briefing was completed. Last but not least, we can turn on the transponder and wait for the GSX to ask us to release the parking brakes. We will switch off the packs, so we will have enough air available to make the engine start. Okay, let's see what is behind us. It seems that it's clear behind us, so we could probably proceed with the pushback. So I assume they have already asked us to release the brakes, so let's do it. Nope. I believe the chocks might not be. Okay, let's go back and ground operations. So remove the chock.
Release parking brakes,
Okay,
please.
now we can remove the parking brakes and
Commencing push. All engines clear. Start at will.
okay, let's announce our intentions or Unicom as well, since there's some other traffic here. Keflavik traffic, lot 500, pushback, and start at gate 6.
Bagaż podręczny należy umieścić w schowkach nad głowami lub pod poczytającym fotelem.
Okay, once we are going to be farther from the stand, we are going to proceed and clear. So clear of the restricted area, then we can proceed with engine start, and I think we can do it now. As you can see, during the summertime in Iceland, it really never gets dark during the night, which makes it a little bit interesting. But okay, let's proceed with the engine start. So yes, engine. Okay, and 2.
Należy założyć najpierw sobie, a następnie pomysł. Kamizelka ratunkowa znajduje się w kieszeni pod fotelem.
24, okay.
Należy wyjąć kamizelkę z opakowania.
Yeah, okay, the lights went off.
Dłuższy koniec taśmy wokół pasa i umieścić końcówkę w uchwycie. Zacisnąć taśmę tak, aby kamizelka przylegała do ciała. Kamizelkę należy napełnić przez silne pociągnięcie za czerwony uchwyt, stojąc w
Please set parking brakes.
po opuszczeniu samolotu.
And we haven't set the fuel pumps to on. Okay, that was my mistake. Luckily we have some notification here that was a wrong fuel config. Okay, engine 2 is stable, so starting engine 1.
W sytuacji awaryjnej system oświetlenia podłogi wskaże drogę do wyjścia. Na pokładzie samolotu obowiązuje bezwzględny zakaz
And 2.
palenia oraz używania papierosów elektronicznych.
Tow truck disconnected. Bypass pin removed.
Reagujące na dym. Prosimy o
Left is clear. Right is clear.
pokładowego i zapoznanie się z instrukcją bezpieczeństwa, która znajduje się
Alright.
w kieszeni fotela.
Alright, lights off.
Hand luggage must be stowed in one of the overhead compartments or under the seat in front of you. Now we will show you how to fasten, adjust, and open your seat belt. Please make sure that your tray table is closed and your seat is in the upright position with the armrest down. During takeoff and landing, all window blinds must remain open. If the pressure in the cabin drops sharply, oxygen masks will automatically fall from the overhead panels. Remain seated. Take the nearest mask and pull it toward you to activate oxygen flow. Place it over
Okay,
your nose and mouth.
engine 2 is
Wrap the
stable.
elastic band around
Alright.
your head and breathe normally.
So
Put
from
on
the
your
top
own mask
we can
first
turn it
and
on.
then help others. There is a life
Here
vest
we
under your seat.
can.
In case of landing on water, only when instructed by the cabin crew,
Then legit
take the life vest
generators
out of
on
its
as
pocket,
well, and we
pull it over
can
your head,
switch off
and
the
wrap the
APU,
longer end of the belt
set
around
the
your
hydraulic
waist,
panel,
and buckle the
set
end. Adjust the life vest to
pitot
fit your
heat,
body by tightening
and
the
to
belt.
make sure
To inflate the life vest, pull
packs are
tightly
back
on the
to
red
auto.
toggle. When standing in the doorway,
and
pull the pin
fans
after
are
leaving the aircraft
on.
through the
Okay,
opening in
perfect.
the exit. If the life vest does not
So
inflate correctly,
flaps
then plug
5.
into the rubber valve. Our aircraft is equipped with 8 emergency exits clearly marked with exit signs. There are 2 emergency exit doors at the front and 2 emergency exit doors
Flight
at the
controls
rear
check.
of the cabin,
So
as well
full
as 4
left,
overwing emergency exits in the
full
center
right,
part of the aircraft. The emergency
full
exit
up,
doors are equipped with
full
evacuation
down,
signs.
neutral and rudder, full left, full right. Okay, flaps 5. Alright, so it's time for the before taxi checklist. So generators are on, heat are on, anti-ice is off, isolation valve is auto, engine start switches they are continuous, and recall was checked, auto brake is RTO, engine start levers is idle detent, flight controls were checked, and ground equipment clear. Okay, so we are ready to taxi, so let's get back here and let's go back to our map. Okay, so straight ahead and then on to November. Okay, runway turn off lights, taxi lights. We can arm the auto throttle, arm LNAV and arm VNAV, and release the parking brake released. We are good to go.
Prosimy zachować ostrożność podczas ich otwierania, gdyż znajdujące się tam przedmioty mogą wypaść. W przypadku ewakuacji cały bagaż podręczny należy zostawić na pokładzie. Jeżeli mają Państwo
We are quite heavy today, so I need to add actually a lot of power to get a plane rolling, and I haven't turned off that dome light, but okay, much better now.
Please keep in mind that during takeoff and landing, laptops and large electronic devices must be unplugged from onboard power sources and secured in your hand luggage, seat pocket, or the luggage compartment. Should you lose your electronic device, it gets stuck between the seats, its battery is damaged, hot or produces smoke,
Oh,
please
someone
immediately notify a crew member.
is landing here.
If you are seated in a front row seat or in the row next to an emergency exit, all your belongings
Although there is no
must be
ATC,
stowed in
it seems there's some traffic here in Keflavik.
compartments as items may fall out. In case of evacuation, all your hand luggage must
Yeah, runway 01. And like I said, left into the November. Yep, slow down a little bit. November 4. Okay, let's go back to the chart and first right into Mike. I will add some thrust to make sure we are not going to stop here, and to expedite the taxi as well. The temperature is above 10 degrees, so, and the sky is clear. That's why we don't need the anti-ice, and that's why I was so confident during the checklist that the anti-ice is off and will remain off, although we are in the land of ice and fire. I don't expect much icing on ground today. Okay, so maybe I will announce that Keflavik traffic lot 500 taxing to runway 01 via Mike and then Echo. Just to make sure that we are not going to end up on the same taxiway, because he should be actually vacating into the Echo, so then we can pass each other. So I will turn right here into Mike.
Keflavik traffic I634, taxiing to stand currently on Echo, left onto November.
Okay, that was a little bit loud for, from a V-pilot, so I believe I will try to adjust the settings. I think I did it recently, but okay. Audio, yeah, let's make it no, somewhere like here should be better. Okay, let's add some thrust as we are going a little bit uphill. So all the way to the end, and then we'll join Echo 2 and then taxi to the end of to the holding point runway 01. So we still have some taxi, okay, and there are signs for runway 01, so we are going in the right direction. Let's get back to the center line. So I was a little bit distracted and we veered a little bit to the left. Right, we are going to be crossing a runway, so clear left and clear right. And let's turn the strobe lights for the time being, and we can actually turn the logo light as well. I mean, it's getting dark, so yep. Alright, we are clear of the runway, so we can switch off the strobe lights. And once we are be taxiing later, like closer to the holding point, I will make the taxi. I'll proceed with before takeoff checklist. I will slow down a little bit. We are turning, so just want to make sure. Okay. Clear left and clear right as well. Yep. can apply some thrust here. I will apply some thrust to make sure that we'll keep rolling on the center line. Okay, and here we go. Alright, so before takeoff checklist, flaps are 5, green light, 5, 5, and 5. And stability trim is 5.0, 5.0, 5.1 units. That's before takeoff checklist complete. Okay, perfect. Alright, so put the thrust back to idle, as we are now actually going slightly downhill. Okay, we are almost there. I told you it's going to be a long taxi today, and it is in fact a long taxi. But we are quite heavy, so I want to take the full length of runway 01 to have enough space to stop in case of anything goes wrong. Alright, we'll slow down just before making the turn, as we are going quite fast, more than 20 knots, and it's going to be quite sharp turn, so we should be closer to 10 knots. Okay, let's start to decelerate. We should be okay now. Okay. So okay. Keflavik traffic load 500, departure runway 01. Just made the announcement in the blind, but it looks like it's clear on the approach. So since it's clear, okay. We can take off the taxi lights and we can set the logo lights. Alright. Hop, hop again, and on the other side as well. Let's slow down. This is what we want to have on the other side as well. Let's line up with the runway, and then once we are going to be lined up, let's set the transponder, as we haven't done it yet. Okay, so now it's time for... Geez, my mouse is not alright. So, transponder, okay. Landing lights. Okay, perfect. Ready? Yes. Takeoff. Thrust set. Speed is alive.
80 knots.
Checked.
B1. Rotate. Positive rate of climb.
Positive rate, gear up. Okay, flaps 1. But let's remember that our first speed restriction is 210 knots, so we are going to keep the flaps 1 for the time being. I'm going to make the turn manually, and then after the turn I will select the autopilot. We still have the speed restriction of 210 knots, so I'm still keeping flaps 1, as you can see. But I guess as soon as we are going to... Yes, okay, so let's make the wings level, lower the nose a little bit, make sure that we are accelerating before actually selecting flaps to 0. Okay, flaps 0, speed check, flaps up. Sorry, flaps up, speed check. Let's trim the aircraft, and once it's going to be trimmed, I will just turn on the autopilot. Well, one more turn. I don't want to turn on the autopilot when making the turn, especially when I'm not following the flight director so precisely, because in case I would turn on the autopilot now, there will be abrupt change into the way how the aircraft flies, and it could be like really uncomfortable for the passengers. But I think we can turn the autopilot now, so Command A and Command A. All right. And let's select higher altitude. I believe we can select something like flight level 240. Okay. Transition, set standard, so standard and standard, and after takeoff checklist. So engine bleeds are on, and packs are auto, landing gear up and off, and flaps up, no lights. That's after takeoff checklist complete. We are, well, passing through some clouds, so let's turn the engine anti-ice on, and 10,000, so let's make the 10 checks 1215, that's okay, but yes, pressurization is increasing, so works quite okay. All right. Okay, welcome back. We are now 90 nautical miles from the top of descent, so let's get prepare our aircraft for the arrival in Warsaw. So the weather in Warsaw, wind 340 at 14 knots, clouds and visibility okay, and QNH 1018. So basically very good weather for landing, and besides the wind, but it's well almost in it's going to be blowing almost along the runway, so it's not going to be huge crosswind, so it should be perfectly fine. Alright, let's first so runway 33 in Warsaw as expected. That's Zurich 6 uniform, so let's check actually that we have everything set as we want. So Zurich max 280 knots and below flight level 210, 280 below flight level 210, Keflavik max 250 knots, Menzi flight level 120 or below. Okay, Keflavik 250 knots and 120 or below. Repsosovus max 220 knots and Adini 220 and 5000, 220 5000. Cislu Lambo Whiskey Alpha 534, which is 220 and below. And let's go for the approach chart. So ILS Yankee and airleg at 3000. So you know what, just to make sure that we are going to have the plane exactly where we want it, let's make it 3000 as a hard, so not 3000 restriction, so not 3000 or above, but 3000. Okay, 110.3 326, so let's select this and 326 326 326 11.3 11.3. That is set. Okay, perfect. So in terms of radios navigations and in terms of our route, we have it in FMC. I think I can just add two fixes for runway 33. So basically 10 nautical miles and 4 nautical miles. So 10 nautical miles just to know where we should already have flaps 5 and around 200 knots in order to slow down. Okay, descent. Now we are going to be cruising the flight level 250 before below flight level 100. And when it comes to forecast, so again the wind, the QNH was 1018, and there is one thing I need to correct. The transition level in Warsaw is 08, is 8000 feet. Okay, 1018. We are not going to be using anti-ice. Clouds and visibility okay, and it's quite warm, so no anti-ice needed. Let's request the winds. It's taking a while. Okay, load. Okay, so top of descent in 6 minutes. Okay, 1018 was the QNH. Now we are going to use around 800 kilograms of fuel still, which means our landing weight should be around 62.5 4, 62.4. Okay, so our speed, no, I will take 30, speed 145. And the correction should be around, well, I would say, let's make it +7. Okay, so our speed will be 152. And we'll be using flaps landing auto brake level 3. Okay. Last but not least, let's make sure, yes, so 350 feet is set. Okay, and going back to the chart and to our arrival, flight level 210 or below, so on flight level 120. So I think when we are going to be closer to our top of descent, we will actually select flight level 120. There is no ITC coverage for Warsaw today, unfortunately, and as I can see on side up, not a lot of traffic. So to be honest, I expected at some point we are just going to cut it a little bit shorter and probably like turn from Cislu to Whiskey Alpha 534 for ILS briefly in Warsaw. In terms of our parking for today, this is what I wanted. I don't have parking chart, so let's bring up the parking stands. Okay, and okay. This is the chart I was looking for. So I'm expecting that we'll be parking at 10:75 today, so we can vacate even via Sierra 3, turn right, left, and we're going to be at 75. Of course, we will be aiming to vacate via Sierra 2 to shorten the time that we are going to occupy the runway, but in case there will be no traffic behind us, I believe we can roll out all the way until Sierra 3, vacate Sierra 3, then Delta 2, and take first left, and we should be on our stand shortly. 24 nautical miles, so I'm going to select 20,000 feet for the time being for our initial descent. As it's going to be below flight level 210, so first restriction over Sorix, but still above flight level 120 that we have on our next restriction. And from my experience, on flying on Vatsim, you will usually get here around flight level 240 as your initial one, but there's no ATC, so we are going to select this. And last but not least, I believe we can probably proceed with our checklist. So, descent checklist. Pressurization, landing altitude is 350 feet, and let's cross-check it. And let's go for the wind and for ILS. So, yes, runway it's 355. 350 is correct. Recall. Checked. Auto brake level 3 set. And yeah, this is something we haven't set. So our minimum's 573 for today. So 573. so minimum is 573 and VRIF is 145 knots. And approach briefing. So ILS landing from my 33. We have covered the radar. We have covered the weather. We have covered actually where we want to park, and one thing we have not covered yet is miss approach. So let's just cross-check it. And yes, so this is our standard miss approach, and 3000 feet is our miss approach altitude. So approach briefing completed. 10,000 feet, so we can turn on the landing lights. And let's take a look at Warsaw. Lovely view of downtown Warsaw here, and the airport, it's like on the right hand side, it's not visible for the time being. Okay, let's get back to cockpit. And we can deselect the guard from the second one. We don't need it anymore. Okay, and as for pressurization, yeah, okay, everything works here. Perfect. And actually, since there is not a lot of traffic, I will make a shortcut from Sicily to Whiskey 534. So just to be 534. So just to make sure. And sorry, there is one thing I need to do. I will erase the restriction at Whiskey Alpha 5. No, so let's just make it 220 or below. Yes, should. We can descend all the way to 4,000. So what I wanted to achieve is actually to check at what altitude. Oh, sorry. So we can select this, 10, 18, approach checklist, altimeter is 1018, set and cross check. Okay. Now coming back to our FMC. Let's delete the restriction. Let's just enter 220 or less. This is what I want to have here. And now let's put it just after Sicily. And now, okay, so we should be there at almost 4,000. Okay, so we should probably help our aircraft a little bit with speed brake, because what I wanted to actually make is a shortcut, so we are not going to be flying all the way here, but since there is no traffic from Sicily, we'll fly directly to Whiskey Alpha 534 and then straight ahead onto the ILS. We are slightly above our restriction, it's okay. The aircraft will slow down in a moment. And I'm not programming the shortcut yet, but I will do it once we are going to be close to Sicily, just in case something unexpected will happen. Well, I think we can just confirm. I see the traffic is really, I mean, there's some traffic, but it's really far away, so we are not going to be conflicting with each other, so I can use the shortcut here. And I think I can actually stop the speed brake, because it seems we are perfectly on the glide path and on the speed, so we are perfectly on a profile. Yes, we have the radio selected. This is what I wanted to check, that we have the radios selected. We will be turning shortly. Okay, the aircraft is actually adding power to make the turn. That is a little bit strange, so... And we can select 3000 here. So you know what, let's make another shortcut. Let's make direct Whiskey Alpha 533, which is over here. And let's select for lock. And I'm going... Yeah, okay, so the aircraft is catching up with the profile. We are still doing 220 knots. I'm using some power, so we could have turned a little bit earlier, because as you can see, the plane is actually using the power, so I helped a little bit too much with the speed brake. Speed brakes. Okay, the airport is here. Nice. And we are slowing down, so we are 15 miles. Still some time before 10 miles, so still some time before we are going to extend the flaps. Okay, 4 lock captured. Perfect. So I'm going to arm approach mode. Okay. We are slowing down. So speed check flaps 1 and speed check flaps 5. Let's match the heading in case of misapproach. Okay, flaps 5, and we can slow down to 180, and shortly we should capture the flight school. Okay, we are capturing the glide slope, so we can extend the gear. So, gear down. And flaps 15, we can slow down. We should slow down. Traffic load 500 ILS 33, 6 miles. Just made the announcement on Unicom just to make sure that no one... There is one aircraft on ground, so I just want to make sure that he is not going to actually enter our runway. Okay, 160 and 152 was our speed for final, so we are going to, as soon as we are going to hit 4 nautical miles, I'm going to select this. Okay, 152, speed check, flaps 30. And landing checklist. Engine start switches, continuous. Yes, speed brake armed. Landing gear down for green and flaps 30 green light. Landing checklist complete, we are stabilized. Okay. Let's turn off the auto throttle and turn off the autopilot. Oh jeez, I have messed up a little bit, but okay, it's still should be okay to get back on the profile.
500.
Yeah, 500 feet and we are now stable on VMC, it's still okay.
400. Approaching minimums. Minimums.
Continue.
200. 100. 50. 30. 20. 10.
Okay, reverse green, speed brakes up, and decelerating. There was a light touchdown, but still moving the touchdown zone. But I guess in that case we are just going to vacate via the Sierra 3 because that was okay. We are now passing Sierra 2, manual braking, and I think we can actually yes, we can vacate here. And let's set the timer here to make sure when we are going. Okay, so let's add some power first to the left.
Warsaw traffic, Airfront 700 lining up runway 29 for takeoff.
And let's go back to our chart. Parking stand. No, I don't want to have the chart. No, I don't want to stop. Sorry for it. I need to add some power. It's probably the... Okay. And it will be apron 7B, stand 75. Let's select this. 7B, 75. No. And yes, let's go with it. Okay, once we are going to be closer to the stand, I'm going to turn on the APU. And we have 1 minute, so still it's really a short taxi. So we need to wait some time before we are going to shut down our engines. Okay. So the marshal is there. So to the right. I will add some power because otherwise the plane is going to stop. Okay, stand 75 is here. This ground model here, it's perfect. I mean, I understand that the plane slows down a little bit since I have the nose switch still deflected, but still. Okay, let's turn off the runway lights and taxi lights. And yep, here we go. Again, I'm just turning and the plane just slowed down completely. It almost completely stopped. Oh, they have the same pink uniforms as they had in Keflavik. That's really interesting. Okay, slightly to the right, so let's go to the right. And straight ahead. Okay, so to the right. To the left. And straight ahead. Let's see if I can actually trust her. Again, the plane has stopped. It feels like some of the braking axis would be still engaged, but it's strange. Okay. Parking brake is set. Let's go outside. Doesn't look so bad. I would say it even looks quite okay. Alright, 4 minutes, so we can do blue, 1 red, and engine is that. So logo light, we don't need it anymore. We can turn off the seatbelt, turn off this one, as well as this one. We can turn this one off, and yep, we can switch the beacon light, anti-collision lights. Okay, let's ask for the deboarding.
The boarding requested.
I'm not sure. I haven't probably switched off the weather radar and the traffic here, and I haven't actually switched off the transponder. No, I haven't. Also reset it to 2000, and flight directors can go off. The rest I can leave it as it is. Okay. So, shutdown checklist, and we haven't finished yet. Fuel pumps off, propit off, hydraulic panel is set, flaps are up, and parking brake is set, engine start switches are cut off, and the weather radar is off. That's the shutdown checklist complete. Last thing I can do
Passenger's bus
is
is coming.
detune the ILSs or detune the navs, and let's see how does it look from the outside. Well, besides the lovely pink uniforms, everything else looks quite okay. It's interesting how the back actually changes its color when
Warsaw traffic look 712 established for ILS
being
approach
loaded
runway
on the
33.
baggage cart, and the buses will arrive to pick up our passengers. Alright, thank you very much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed flying with me today. If you did, please give a like, subscribe, or leave a comment, and if there are any other destinations operated by LOT that you would like to see, please let me know in the comment section, and maybe I will fly there. Once again, thanks for flying with me. Take care.